So long as freedom from hunger is only half achieved, so long as 2/3 of the nations have food deficits, no citizen, no nation can afford to be satisfied. We have the ability, as members of the human race, we have the means, we have the capacity to eliminate hunger from the face of the earth in our lifetime. We need only the will.
You are now in tune with the community on 318 Latino. Meet interesting people who make our community great. Hear their stories, check out their projects.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here with us today. My name is Brian Garcia with 318 Latino, and today I have a fantastic interview with Miss Martha Merrick. She is the executive director of the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana, and she's going to tell us all about how the food bank is helping our community. Here she is. Hello, Miss Martha. How are you today?
I'm great, and thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for coming here with us today and letting us know how the food bank is helping people. So let's get started. First of all, let me ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a bit about how you got to Shreveport and how you ended up working for the food bank.
Sure. It's been a journey. So I'm originally from New Orleans, and I moved here with my husband in the late 80s. We started our family, and I actually worked in the for-profit world for quite a few years. I was the marketing director for Pierre Bossier Mall and Mall St. Vincent for 17 years.
Wow.
And while I worked there, I knew of the food bank and the great work that they did. And, I've been at the food bank for about 13 years now, but I was ready for a change, and I thought, I always loved the work that the food bank did, and they had a position open. I said, I'll just apply and see if I'm lucky enough to get the position, and I did. And I've been there since, and I have loved every minute. I don't even feel like what I do is work. I'm so blessed to be able to do the work that I do.
Excellent. That's amazing. That's great. I'm so happy. And, it's great to be able to have a work that is fulfilling, something that makes us happy, something that makes us wake up every morning and be happy that we're doing it. That's a blessing.
It is. It's hard work. But, to be able to help people with food is just that basic need of food is so rewarding that we really, and I feel like I speak for my whole team too, none of us feel like it's work.
Right. Excellent. So let me ask you this. Now let's get into what exactly the food bank is. How is it that they help people?
So food banking is done all across the United States. It's not something we invented here in Shreveport. There are about 200 food banks across the United States.
Wow.
There are 5 in the state of Louisiana, and we know each other very, very well. We have divided all 64 parishes of the state of Louisiana into service areas. And our service area here for our food bank are the 7 parishes of Northwest Louisiana. So we're the very top corner of the state. So our boundaries are the Texas border to the west, the Arkansas border to the north, and then we go as far east as Claiborne and Bienville Parish, which would be like Arcadia. And then to the south is Red River and DeSoto Parish, which is Coshada and Mansfield.
Okay.
So that's the service area that the food from our warehouse covers.
Excellent. Well, that's a big area.
It is
for
a
sure.
big area. It really is.
Yes, ma'am. Next question would be, let's see here. How does the food bank how can somebody apply to receive benefits from the food bank?
Sure. So basically, if there's an individual that qualifies for SNAP benefits, they immediately qualify to receive food from the food bank. So the way it works is that the food is not distributed to individuals from our facility, but in turn, the food bank partners with about 150 organizations that have food so that people in need don't have to come all the way to Shreveport to receive food. So we have locations in Arcadia and in Benton and in South Louisiana. There are 150 are scattered all across. Most of them are churches that have food pantries. And they go and they bring, if someone needs food, they, first thing they need to do is call the food bank. Call us at 318-675-2400. And we will tell them what food pantry is closest to where they live. And then what they would need to do is just bring ID, and we will let them know what the income level is and when that food pantry is open for service, and then we encourage them to go. Now, once they sign up for a food pantry, they could go every month to receive food.
Excellent. And how often? It's once a month?
It's once a month.
Okay.
Once a month they can go, and they will receive about 75 pounds of food. Now, depending on the location, some of our partners have refrigeration, and they'll get milk or dairy, produce, meats. Some don't have. Some of the smaller ones don't have a lot of refrigeration, but they may get some. But it really varies what they will get. We're really trying to get all of our partners to increase their refrigeration because
it's a necessity.
Well,
Absolutely.
It is, and healthy foods are the most expensive foods. And so if you're struggling to make ends meet, we want to be able to give you those more expensive foods so that you can use the money that you do have to pay your utilities and your rent and your phone bill and all the other things that we all need to take care of.
Right. And let me ask you, throughout the pandemic, how have you seen a rise in people needing that help?
We really have. So since last March of 2020, each month we've distributed either anywhere between 35 and 42% more food than we did the year before.
Increasingly.
So it's been really hard on folks. A lot of people lost jobs or had 2 jobs and just, either they got ill or a family member did. I mean, so many reasons. But yes, our distribution definitely increased.
Yes, ma'am. I was able to help. I got hired by G2 Studios to record the video on one of your distribution sites, and I'll put some of the footage here. But it was really interesting to see, how organized it was. People lined up in their cars. They came in, they showed their ID, their information, and once everything got cleared out, somebody just came in with a big box, put it in their car, no contact with people. Easy go. We
really had to learn that process because normally people get out of their car, they come inside, and of course we love that interaction and to be able to visit and see how our partners are doing. But, with social distancing and try and keep everybody safe, that mobile distribution, probably what you saw, was so efficient.
It was.
That, we could help a lot of people in a very short amount of time. But it's still a lot of work. Those boxes get heavy.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. Yeah. Now, speaking of the people that were there helping out, volunteers, how does somebody help the food bank?
Well, we love our volunteers and we need volunteers. And up until now, we haven't really used that many volunteers. Normally, what we'll do is we'll invite volunteers to come to the food bank and pre-pack boxes of food for us so that we have a big senior program for homebound seniors that live in rural areas where we don't have those partnering churches.
Right.
And so we will pre-pack thousands of boxes a month. Well, really, up until now, we haven't been able to use volunteers because of the protocols for social distance. But we just moved to a new facility, and our volunteer area is huge that we feel like we can safely spread out and not be too close. So we encourage volunteers. And again, if someone is interested in volunteering, all they have to do is call us at 318-675-2400. And we will tell them all the opportunities that are there. It's a great way for either a church group,
right,
or a youth group, or even a business to do like a team building exercise together. To work together for a common good is very rewarding, and we would love to create that environment for anyone that's interested.
Excellent. Now, I believe the next question was already sort of answered, was what are the location distributions? But can we get a little bit more specific on the Shreveport area?
So, they really vary. They vary. Some churches are open only once a month, and some are open as many as 3 times a week. So that's why we want folks to just call us, and that we can tell them what's going to be open the soonest to where they live. And we will direct them to a particular location.
Perfect. And other than volunteering, what other ways can our community help the food bank?
Well, we always need food, so we encourage food drives. If a business or a church or even an individual has a surplus of anything, we encourage them to bring that to us. Excuse me. Especially now with summertime, and a lot of people do small farming, or if they have a vegetable patch or whatever. If there's any abundance, we would love that. We will accept almost anything because so many of the folks that we help, they need a lot of things.
Yes, ma'am.
And so very rarely do we say no to anything that anyone wants to donate. So definitely food drives or any type of food donations. And of course, monetary donations go a long way.
Right.
For every dollar that's donated to the food bank, we, with our buying power, can turn that dollar into $10 worth of food. We feel like we're very good stewards of our donors' funds. So monetary donations are always welcome.
Perfect. Well, Ms. Merrick, thank you so much. I hope that this can help get you some more volunteers, donations, and just more awareness from our community, because a lot of them also need the benefits and may have not known that this was available. A question for the Latino community. Are there specific requirements as far as, is there a Social Security needed to be able to do this?
Not at all.
Perfect.
Not at all. All you need is some form of an ID. It doesn't even need to be a government-issued ID. And now, because of COVID, it used to be we needed actual paper proof of income.
Right.
Now we're just taking verification. It's just your word. We'll ask you, where do you live, and how much do you make, and it's all on the honor system now.
Right. Excellent, man. Well, thank you so much. I'm really grateful that we got to do this interview, and I hope that this brings you more help as well.
Thank you. And we'd love to help the Latino community more too.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Bueno, let me do a little quick Spanish
Go ahead.
segue. Para toda esa gente que nos está viendo a través de 318 Latino, del Food Bank o el Banco de Comida de Northwest Louisiana, del noroeste de Luisiana, está aquí para ayudarles. Aquí está la señora Martha Merrick, que está para enseñarnos cómo podemos conseguir esa información, esa comida necesaria para sostener a nuestras familias y darle lo mejor. Si ustedes tienen la oportunidad de voluntariarse, de donar dinero o comida o tiempo, aquí están las oportunidades para ser parte de esta comunidad, siempre con 318 Latino. Muchísimas gracias.
There is a place where you can dare to dream, find lasting friendships, where you can find yourself, where you can find your anchor.